The co-main event, the interim featherweight championship, Yair Rodriguez minus 152, Josh Emmett plus 152. Odds courtesy of BetOpenly, over under set at 4.5 rounds. Juice to the over minus 147. Who you got in this one?
This is a super good fight. Yair's striking, obviously. He's fun to watch. He's really, really good. But Josh Emmett, I don't know. There's something about when you watch him, like, dude, he's just so physically strong. And if he implements that wrestling, I mean, I think he could get Yair down. It's going to maybe take a couple of rounds because Yair's fast, good distance control, good footwork. He's super slick on the feet. But I mean, Josh Emmett's a freak, and he's 18-2. Like, he's only lost 2 times in his professional career. I mean, he's about as solid as they come. His recent wins, Calvin Kattar, which was a split decision, which was a little dicey. A lot of people thought Kattar won, but nonetheless, it was a good performance on both sides. Beat Dan Ige, beat Shane Burgos, went over Michael Johnson, and his 2 losses were Jeremy Stevens, and then early on, he lost to Des Green, I think in like 2017. Yeah, so about 6 years ago. Yeah, I want to side with Yair Rodriguez because I do like his style and I think he's a lot of fun and he's really good. But something tells me that Josh Emmett is going to look at the fight between Yair and Frankie Edgar and he's going to try to match that blueprint. He's going to try to implement the wrestling, use his strength to get the fight to the ground, and from there, just do what he does best. I mean, land some ground and pound, control Yair, tire him out. He's got to take some speed out of Yair's game from the get go. Because, like I said, Yair's fast and he's really slick. So if you can slow him down a little bit, make this thing really ugly, I think Josh Emmett's got a chance. And if you look at the odds, Josh Emmett is the underdog on Bet Openly plus 152. I think that's phenomenal value for a guy like Josh Emmett, who's 18-2. It's now or never for him. I think he knows that. He is a little bit older. Not that he's old, but I mean, at this point in his career, if he is 37 years old and you take a loss to Yair Rodriguez, I mean, there's not much time left to go make a title run again. So
Right.
now or never for Josh Emmett. I am going to back him for my pick here. I do think it's a close fight, but I think he can grind out the victory against Yair.
Yeah, and Josh Emmett in the UFC is 6-1 as an underdog. So that's pretty hard to ignore.
Yeah.
Especially if he's going into this at plus 152. I mean, not just even we were talking before. I think this fight should be closer to a pick 'em. But man, like for Yair Rodriguez, kind of sucks that he had to deal with that with Ryan Ortega getting injured and not really getting to put a stamp on his his shot to get to the title, and kind of fell into it with that win. But he had a decently close fight with Max Holloway. Definitely lost, but showed that he could hang with Max Holloway somewhat on the feet, who is one of the best strikers in the division in the UFC. So this guy's got insanely good striking, lots of kicks, lots of volume, mixes it up with the elbows, the knees, anything. He throws everything at you. Really a full mixed martial artist on the feet. As far as on the ground, um, he will look for some takedowns if they're there. If he gets to the ground, he's not necessarily the best off his back or necessarily the greatest on the ground. He obviously wants to keep this on the feet. For Josh Emmett, obviously has the wrestling in his back pocket. He's got power, man. He has. I put it on my TikTok. He's had knockdowns in 7 of his last 8 fights. His only fight that he didn't was his last one against Calvin Kattar, who we all know is durable as they come. So Josh Emmett himself is fairly durable, but he takes a lot of damage. Both guys get hit a lot. I mean, if we look at the stats, Yair Rodriguez lands 4.67 significant strikes per minute, absorbs 4.12. So basically almost a 1-to-1 there. Josh Emmett 4.28 landed and absorbs 4.29. So a little in the negative of a 1-to-1 there. So Josh Emmett is pretty low volume. I wouldn't say he's going to pepper you with the shots like Yair will. It's pretty much a battle of power and volume in this one for Josh Emmett, which ultimately I think what got him the win against Calvin Kattar. Just landed more damaging shots. That's what the judges went with. but he took a beating in that one. I mean, I watched that fight over yesterday, and some of the shots he took from Calvin Cater, I was like, dang, I don't know how he's still standing up. One of the spinning back elbow, like right to the nose. Like, wow, this guy, he can take one. His face was swelled up, bloodied up, pretty nasty stuff. He's rocking the beard now, though. So maybe there's some more power in that beard or something. But he looks like he's in great shape. At the dog price, it's really hard to ignore. And I'm gonna back him for my pick as well. But I mean, it's looking like it's probably gonna make the card, or at least Josh Emmett by knockout might be pretty juicy. I mean, Yair Rodriguez is pretty durable. So maybe you get a juicy price on that. Haven't seen any lines out for that yet, but something to look at for sure. I'll take Josh Emmett for the pick, though. You got anything else on this?
No, not really. Other than they both have 6 knockout wins apiece. Yair has 3 submission wins. Josh Emmett has 2 submission wins. Yair has been knocked out twice and submitted twice. And Josh Emmett's only loss by finish was to Jeremy Stevens back in 2017. So that's a whole nother Jeremy Stevens. That's the Jeremy Stevens calling out Conor McGregor era, where he was really, flatlining dudes. So I don't know, man. It is a tough one. It's tough to call this fight because they're 2 really good fighters who each, have a path to victory. And man, I'm just looking too now at Josh Emmett 5'6" and Yair 5'11". If it stays on the feet, that reach and that though the reach is pretty even, but that size difference in Yair's ability to fight from the outside could be a problem for Josh and the speed. So yeah, I really think Josh Emmett can win this fight, but he's got to implement the grappling and just use that strength and try to grind it out. So, and he can land his shots of his own, but like you touched on, I don't like that he absorbs more significant strikes than he lands too. That kind of makes me a little bit nervous. But through the week, we'll see where the money comes in. We'll see if that line gets a little bit closer to even. Might not be a bad idea to sprinkle something on Josh Emmett while the odds are plus 150 on BetOpenly.
Yeah, and last thing I'll say on this, Josh Emmett training out of Team Alpha Male. He's been there his whole career, so they're gonna know their fighter and where to put him in this fight. So if they think he's got the advantage on the ground, they may tell him to go take it to the ground.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters on the come up are going to be looking to stand and bang, to get the fans and everything. So if you're in the title fight, you got to pull out all the tricks. Right. If you got it in the bag, you might as well use it. So something to look for there.